been 2 weeks since so from that time, I'm just kind of evaluating from that time. That's when I actually, so it was about, it was a few days. So I don't want to count when I actually purchased the products or the items to say, okay, well, let's get it done because I end up getting these little files and I had those for a moment. The sticks, I was already cutting out the sticks and everything. They sat for a little while. And so, but I'm talking about like the shellac and stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe I could have finished this some time ago, but it didn't work out that way. So the things that I'm doing right here, this is the last one. Let me finish that, then I'll show you the rest of it. So let me see. Some of them kind of tight, you see? Because you know when I paste it. And so now I'm just removing the thing that gave it its, which is the balloon. That gave it round. However, this one is shaped a little different. I think I may use this handle because I want it. This one, it looks like it look like an island. It's not as round as the other ones, but I am happy. I'm like, good Lord. Get to the next thing. And I, even then, I'm like, oh, I'm finished. But no, I have to paste that stuff together, and I will show you that in a minute. Ooh, that one is tight. Yeah, that's tight, tight, tight. At first, I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go to, and then I just decided I'm not going to do that. See, I was going to do some more of them, but mm-mm. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, so I was, let me see, I had those tweezers somewhere. Uh-oh, it's kind of tight. Let me see how this do. I go in from the side because it need a little space. Oh, no, I may use that little small. This is smaller. This one has a good shape to it. It's an unusual shape. I think I was liking this one because of that bottom. I'll see. That means they will have a smaller top than the rest of them. And so, there we go, a little bit. It was tight. And of course, I do want to try to get all of that out of there so it doesn't make it sound different. It doesn't affect the sound. Oh, there they are. I'm like, where's the tweezers? But I'm just doing this just with a casual, pull, but it's tight. Yes. So yes, almost finished. Ooh, I'm just like excited. I want to make that one too big. The reason why, because I said I wanted to try to use that. Um, I'm surprised. I'm glad to know that that was the last one, because I was like, oh, I'm really liking this one. Move out of that. And then I went and I got some more filling for it. This is thick too, but this is plain. Like I said, I like this one. Let's see, we're just trying to get it in there so we can start pasting the, there we go. See, yeah, that's a little smaller, but it has a lot more character. It fits that is a smaller, let me fill it in. Oh, I'm like, woo-hoo-hoo. Yay. And then I have another little class tomorrow. And I'm like, well, maybe that was the last one. Thank goodness. I'm trying to think, was there any assignments? I don't know. But there's another class that goes with that. The man is just so informative that you feel inspired to go ahead and try to take the next class. I mean, he was just like giving off all kind of information, whereas I had participated with another entity and they did not. So I don't want to be like, oh no, I ain't doing this. I already know. Because I'm like, once I start filling it in, it is inclusive to the organization in which they work. You know what I'm saying? So um, looking at business. The thing is, though, I don't want to overload my thoughts about one thing or the other because it has something to do with um, resources. And if I'm like thinking about everything, like it's all, oh look, I was all so full. I don't want to do that. Matter of fact, when I think about me studying prior self study or whatever, I just didn't do that, honey. Oh look, here it is. We got to do as much as we can. I didn't see this little plate. I think it was a plate or a cup, and I didn't see that. And that was part of some dishes that I had. And what it was saying was, the Lord has granted me what I can do, and or what I can change or whatever, and accept the things that I cannot. And the thing is that if we just accept that all by itself that way, then that means that we really have not groomed our society at the education to take on additional studies or whatever. People just like, oh, that's just the way that it is, and nothing gonna change. Negative. You shouldn't look at it like that. Okay. Um, but the thing is the serenity to do as much as you can. There are a lot of things, but I just kind of figured that when I'm going to different places, I will meet or go places, and I'm like, yes, I really like that. When you start investing, and that would be a collective effort from people that I'm communicating with. But to be like, oh, okay, I want to. No, I told you actively I'm doing these other things as just part of the program. It's something else that's trying to make it everything else. And that's just the part that poses the problem or the concern. You know what I mean? I'm like, I done went to a couple of places, and out of all them places, I only may have looked at one product and said, I really like this because I think that it would be advantageous for people who don't have a lot of money. Instead of purchasing a dollar for a bottle of water, that the other way is a good way to make sure that people who are without can afford to make, and we make sure that they're drinking water. Matter of fact, I need to drink some water myself. No, but for real though, you like that? I like that. It has character. Okay, hold on, I'm doing all that. I want to make sure because I don't want this one to be all the way at the bottom. Like I said, this is kind of small, the stick for the head. So somebody else is trying to be like, oh Lord, have mercy. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, you want to do it? It's like, well, one moment. There's one thing to just have comment, and you can make a comment, and then you can be like telling everybody everything about one thing or the other, and then you're sharing that information so that somebody else can get on it. So let me look at whatchamajigget. I said, well, hell, my effort is this, that, and the other. And they're talking about all that. I said, well, hell, if they can help us get there, that'd be a wonderful thing. You know what I'm saying? That part. Now, when you're sitting at the round table, or you're collectively thinking about one thing or the other, now it's like looking at different things to saying, well, how we're going to put all those things together and make sure that it's sustainable. And it's just the truth. You know, it's like, okay, I realize ever more that when you have somebody else who's trying to interfere with hope, that it's not the way that it could be. It could have been. Somebody else wanted to say that they had it something better, or that they wanted to say, well, this is what you thought. I was like, well, shit, ain't that about something? And I think that this is when we look at certain things, we find some people upset because they know that they want it more than what somebody else is trying to suggest, or so how somebody else want to tell the story. You understand where I'm coming from? They would talk about, matter of fact, there was My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and the lady said that there were people who were liking the story, but what she had did was she ended up having the opportunity to make the story the way that she wanted. They wanted to change it and have different this and do all different that, and the movie turned out to be really successful. You know what I'm saying? It was a successful movie. Okay. Now they want to put in there and be like 50 cents, and he had a couple of movies. It was just looking. Now that's a whole nother ball game. Really are people who have that kind of lifestyle, or explaining the story about here it is all that can see. 50 Cent played a movie. I don't know if it was AIDS or cancer, but he got real, 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 real skinny. And then we seen other movies where they was giving his life story about something. I'm just saying that we do have movies and stuff that have a biography. You know that nothing was wrong, and then that's funny because I had went to this little tobacco thing yesterday, and Dave Chappelle said, "Well, listen, these people gave me some cigarettes," and he said, "Well, but that stuff become for real talk." Real talk, then what would be the problem? When he was talking about they gave him some cigarettes when he was 14. So the woman actually said that, and she said, and it's on the thing and talk about no to tobacco, but they have him on there talking about, well, I smoke tobacco. So I just thought that was just like, oh, okay. And hey, rarely she was just like, honey, I know all about them bonbons. You know what I mean? It didn't mean that here it is the avocation for, and I had to just thank them because the thing is, readily, that movement that they're doing is just to remind us that there's other choices in life. It didn't mean that I shouldn't have participated. I participated. She was like, honey, we are an organization that say, come as you are. And we go from there. And then that's how you will see church. That's how the woman said, well, hey, I used to smoke this. She's like, hey, we don't care about none of that. Because what it is that these people realize that there's just a lot of work tied into a lot of different stuff. But if you are at a point where, and this is what I had said in the other video, labor. Now, here it is. I want to talk about building. Yeah, we got schools. We got schools that will help you with electricity and stuff like that. If no one else gave you an opportunity, but you know how to do electricity, because here it is, you don't have all the experience, but yet I know that we need people who could put up wires and stuff like that, and electricity is working good. And then yet here it is, the journeyman come and he look at it. Now we know that it's an asset to our organization and our efforts. But if you saying that here it is, Irene Ratliff going to teach you how to do electrical and put that all in there like that, and then you know how to, then I ain't say that. You have to go back to school to get that. You know, they'll say a jack of all trades or Jackie of all trades, a master of none. Well, I ain't gonna fib to you, honey. I think that my effort is conversation, and then bringing other people together. Now we're able to bring in our in kind meaning here it is our kite, and it would tell us. It's interesting because this I didn't realize that this man would say this to me. And they said, well, when you flying your kite and there ain't nothing there and you just flying, you don't got no problems. But it's when it get caught up in the wires that now you have to think about getting it off or just leave it there. But he said, well, yeah, that's George Washington flying that kite. I think he said George Washington. So we know that here it is, the conversation of energy and all that kind of stuff. That stuff is for real. I thought it was Edison. Listen, we got some smart people out there, but once we start thinking, hey, babe, I know you do, well, no, I ain't doing that no more. I'm only doing planning. I was like, but I thought you did, mortar. You know what I mean? You're able to do, bricks and lay bricks and all that, the kind of thing. I ain't doing that no more. And so I had went to this meeting. They said, well, if you know how to do everything, then and pick one. And I think that clearly on one thing or the other, I said consultation management. It didn't mean that whatever I'm working on that I'm not working on it. You see it? I'm working on it. Now, when talking about getting other people, there's other people who doing things. They're working on their projects. Now we're just trying to bring these people together. But if we're talking about, okay, well, we're going to teach people how to do paper mache, somebody has suggested, hey, these other people down the street, they actually teach people how to do that. You understand where I'm coming from? Oh, I like that. This is a smaller stick. There's probably one of many that I will probably keep. Now that I finished that, you see how I put that cardboard there or the paper? So I already got the filling in it. So now I'm gonna mache it. Okay, and the reason why is because this is not secure. So now it's secure. It's on here because you just saw me hot glue it, but I need to add more of this, and so it's gonna make it thicker. There's a couple of them that I had. It was only two, which is good. That need more than just covering this. They actually need maybe about two or three other layers. Luckily, hey, it just worked out that way. Now I had said that I was gonna put hole inside of that, right? But I don't think I'm gonna do that either. I'm just gonna string it around and then tie it and then hang it, when to dry, because there's no other way. If I was to drill holes in all of them, um, uh, at first I was gonna do that to, after I do the machete, hang up, whatever. But I'm gonna put the string around it, tie it up really good, and then once we actually finish with all the mache and everything, or do it early, lay out the papers, do them early, do a few of them, and just hang them up. Well, I don't know if that's possible either. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Maybe it's just layer to layer, do it like this, and then because that bottom part would need to dry. So anyway, I'll figure it out. So all this on the top, it needs more on there so that it can get hard like it is right now. Yeah, this is a smaller stick. I don't want to do it that way because that glue is still moist. Oh, good Lord. And of course, when I was looking at, let's say United Nations, and I was somewhat vexed, not vexed, I wasn't vexed, but I was just looking at how they were excluding people because they didn't have experience or a master degree. And I just thought, well, hey, I think it would be, ideal for this one thing or the other. But then we do have volunteer.org, volunteer.gov, I think. And they send people who don't have, let's say, a college degree and all that kind of stuff, and have them participate in a lot of the activities that the government has to offer internationally. And so there's a lot of little stuff that you could do internationally that the government does provide and have those kind of services. Now, if the government want to say, well, here it is on your property, we want us to say, well, negative, there's a problem with that. Because I do. We can have conversation, but for the goal and the plan for one thing or the other, I mean, the focus is real. The focus is real. It doesn't mean I want to exclude people. It means that the questionnaire is there so that I can help other people and other people can help me. And it's just the truth. Really, it's the truth. I am so elated. Now it's time for clean up, clean up. Everybody clean up. So yeah, I got cleanup time. Oh, I'm so enthused. Matter of fact, I want to show you these other pieces. Um, maybe I'll show you right now. So yes, these other pieces are finished. Can you see them? So there's so those are finished. So that's good, right? So now we just get to the other thing. So yeah, we have to clean up and everything. So clean this stuff up and we'll get back with it. So with somebody else, so going to this and going to that, somebody else saying, well, listen, well, it's these people and those people. I'm like, honey, I don't know. Like, wow. The same thing with, let's say, economics. Like I said, I have another class. Do I want to invest in the other session? Sure, because I already said readily that I want to be able to tie in one thing or the other. Well, like I said, when I'm going places, Thank you. Whew, and we find one, an opportunity where somebody who's doing things, or they have a brand, a grant or a brand or something like that, to be able to help them expand their business and provide a service and all other kind of thing. This is the reason why these other entities are there. They're also looking for people who's ready, existing businesses and stuff like that. They may not have traveled or maybe going to different places that I'm going to. So they may, and so if I'm introducing something to them, looking at somebody else's package and bringing something to them, the people that I'm talking about, or vice versa, they bring something to for all of us to look at. Now we're looking at opportunities and how we're able to expand that person's business. Now, the reason why I had chose to say, okay, don't get me misunderstood. They've got good food. I went to this place and they do, they serve whatever they serve. And I was like, oh, I think what's name would be a really good, I think that venue would be a really good place here at this particular location because it's focused on arts and all that other kind of stuff. The thing is catching up with that person because I had spoken with their manager, or their consultant or whatever, and they were like, well, they were talking about infrastructure, and I wasn't quite sure what that meant when they were just having that one building. I didn't know if they wanted to expand it or anything like that. Now you're looking at an investor, somebody who is doing business for somebody else, and you're saying, okay, well, we need people who know how to make your product, who know exactly. So now they have the ingredients to make it viable someplace else. Now, if you're saying, okay, well, Irene, you want to go in, you want to learn it, you want, I didn't say all of that. That wouldn't be true. You got me wanting to do everything. Jackie of many trades, a master of none. And I'm saying to you readily that when you're looking at people who, have the opportunity to want to learn, and that want to learn, as I had said in a previous conversation or previous talk, that somebody said, well, they're an administrative assistant. And I said, well, what kind of administrative assistant? And so they clearly said, well, listen, I do mutual funds or whatever. Then there, I said, oh, insurance and stuff like that. And he was like, well, yeah. Now, could that be advantageous for SMC? Yes, because I am looking at, well, how on a level, what is it that we could do in regards to the community to continue to see, have a visibility in the community. And then there's that other person who will actually be out socializing and getting the support for projects that we want to work on that is focused on chick. Okay, so it's relative to chick. Well, listen, well, what about this? I said, I told you that I had spoke with a legislator and, writing the document, getting the information together. Now that's something that we could present. That's something that they can read over, something that's a concern, and we go from there. But do that means I should be all that? I'm like, oh no, somebody else who's trying to pay all this dick, and I got issues with that shit. I mean, I ain't even trying to excuse my French. Because it seems as if, I mean, hey, okay, well, those people doing this, they doing that. I mean, why is it being tried and tested and we check? I'm like, it just seemed like it's just all that is just a sway away from here. It is what we're trying to dang on do. Does it work? It work, well, they working that. Here it is, anti. And I don't like it. I don't. And I'm like, honey, we got leaders and stuff. And it's just, I mean, we do. We have leaders in different places. I'm gonna write another thing on housing because what I had well, homelessness rather. And well, no, I'm gonna say it right now. I had suggested that our local officials consider asking people who are homeless where they come from. Now, when you think about it, if somebody's coming from another state, this is just a thought. and they're talking about homelessness. Do you think that the government where they now live should ask the other state for funding to address the homeless issue? We're free here in the United States. You can travel wherever you want. But because different projects and stuff are different, do you think that that's something that's possible? And the military, people relocate all the time. Do you think that maybe perhaps the state should ask, and which they do give funding? I just things that make you go home. Maybe there's some details inside of the preamble or something or that little fine print where, you know what I'm saying, or is it just collective? You know what I'm saying? Or do you think it's necessary? When you get your social security number, it comes from someplace. It comes from a state. That's how they're able to identify you. Not only from your birth certificate, but also through your social security number. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and then I said, well, you know what? How many, and this was some time ago about the conversation of documenting people who are homeless. And that came from when there was different hurricanes. And they were asking people to secure their belongings because a lot of people had lost um, stuff through the weather. I'm not going to go there. A lot of their valuables, their pictures, their this, their that, you know what I mean? So now when you begin to look at pictures and important documents like birth certificates, social security cards, all kinds of stuff. Because the assumption is that those things are safe. Now when you start talking about putting things in a secured environment, and they do. Matter of fact, thinking outside of, let's say, a bank, you think that maybe readily we should have businesses that have vaults so that they'll help people protect their stuff. And then when you think about vaults, if they're underground or whatever, should it be metal? And then when they do that process, you think it should be wrapped in plastic and, like Tupperware? Things that make you go, there's no different than storage. They have storage, but I ain't gonna fit you, honey. I got complaints with that. Mm, mm. Oh, I'm supposed to be cleaning up, but I'm over here like, yeah, anyway. I don't know. There were some things I wanted to do. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and like I really like that, but then I'm like I'm going over there. And I don't know. I have a couple, just put on something. And then I was like, oh yeah, I have my little class. Like I said, not to be. Oh, I gotta. I'm doing. I'm asking. So yeah, I was like, oh, I can reuse this. See it? Oh no, I should have put the rest of those in there, huh? Oh, I actually use corn. Well, we use oil. That's still all good. If we need to make popcorn. I was talking to the young lady. You see this corn here? Now, how are we going to eat that? We're not. We have to have fire to make popcorn. You could get corn, but you still have to boil it. You can't just eat that off the stick that it come from. You understand? I'm like, honey, we really do have people at our work that talk about food security. That's for real. I mean, we really, 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 really do. Not worry ourselves about so many different things. Shit, I need a stove, right? Not a stove, but I need some, and not that either, because I got this grill. But then I'm like, my thought is I really don't. I think I probably have, how many soda pots I had today? I had about 10 soda pots today, but I don't eat meat like that. I'll have the fruits, the veggies, and stuff like that. But if you ask me to cook a whole chicken, I mean, so I'm like, well, the grill is there, but for me to fire it up, that means we having company or something. So to turn it on, I mean, I'm not going. I mean, not unless I really, really want something. But it's just sitting there. I just emptied out the little contents of it. You know, I eat a salad. All of that. You know what I mean? I think I could clean up a little bit more thoroughly than I did with this stuff. Uh-oh. The reason why, let me put this here. Ooh. Let me see, these are some of the sticks that I had cut out that I will save them. And the reason why, because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to dip all of these. I'm sorry, this is the truth. But I will cut up some other ones or just kind of leave it like that, or people, yeah, we just do it. But at first I was like, oh, okay, not so much that I'm getting so consumed with doing my own project. It's just that once I glaze these, shellac them, once I glaze these, and then to put these sticks on there, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's possible, but that's up to whoever doing the art piece. Because then they could take it, put the glue there, and put the little sticks. But this part, the handle part, will be already shellacked. At first, I was going to try to select these little sticks, but I don't think that it's just enough to do all of that. So I'm not going to do it. So those are ready. There's no reason to. Those are just kind of like it's looking. Um, I have some other little stuff, but like I said, I'm just gonna maybe do a few of them. Right now, we're ready to go to the next thing. I'm gonna think about how I want to do it, but it doesn't make any sense to do all that paste and then talking about shellacking them. I tried shellacking the whatchamajigget and then putting it in there. It didn't make any sense. It was not logical. It was not. So, yay to that. Does that sound good? Let's see what is this. Ooh, I'm so enthused. I'm like, hopefully all of this will be. Big ups to here it is, the various governments and individual persons who want to do things. It's important, people. I would tell people, if you ain't doing it for you, do it for somebody else. And it just becomes the truth. Meaning education. Go to school. Go to school. Go to school. Go to school. That part. Let's see. All right, people. Hugs and kisses. All right. Talk to you later. I'll probably get back on here, but I got other little things to do. I'm going to finish cleaning up. And once I finish cleaning it up, put these, I should probably organize this little art box, but I'm going to leave that the way that it is too. And just put some of these other pieces. Like I said, now we had another pasting and y'all will see that. I will share that with you. But it's just not today. Matter of fact, it just seemed like a long day. And before I knew it, I'm like, honey, we done skipped a couple hours. I'm not going there. We got some scientists. Mm. Okay, this other thought. Did I share with you about this person? I was asking about this, that, and the other, and they suggested and I said, "Do they know what the hell them people do? Is she crazy?" I'm just asking for a simple meeting. I'm like, don't you think before we sit there and they want us to email them, they want to send us a package and everything, like we just ready and they knowing all about it. No, it didn't make any sense. I'm not going there. Oh, I don't know. Sometimes you just be like, seriously. Anyway, whew, Let's get from one end to the other and just make it happen, snapping. I mean, in a good way. Irene Ratliff, Irene Ratliff, yes.